How do you fancy being paid to taste food? There is a company in Reading that will pay you to do just that. The Sensory Science Centre at Reading University, one of the places in the country which trains members of the public to become professional taste testers. But you have to have a particularly acute sense of taste. They're going to test mine later in the studio. Helen Russell from Caversham, you do this. Morning, Helen.
I do indeed. Good morning.
How did you get into it? How did they decide that your taste buds were better than most people's?
Well, I got into it because there was a little advert in the Reading Post, and I actually took it out of the paper because I had a friend who'd recently graduated and hadn't had a job yet, and I thought he might be interested in it, and he wasn't.
Right.
And it sat on the kitchen table, and I thought, I could do this. This is interesting.
One of those things that sort of nags away at you.
It was sitting there, and I thought I might be able to do this.
Okay, so you rang up, and how did they kind of vet you to work out whether you had the necessary?
Right, it's a fairly lengthy screening procedure, and I don't know the stats, but apparently not everybody can do it to the degree that's required. But you're asked to sniff and taste and describe what you're sniffing and tasting for a couple of hours, and it seemed really quite daunting to start with, but then I got into it and really enjoyed it.
And, I mean, had you any inkling before this that you had a really good sense of taste? Because it's not something anyone ever measures, is it?
I don't think I had an inkling that I had any particular talent for it, but I have always been interested in food, and I can remember being little and kind of knowing that my grandmother made the best soup, but my mum made the best cakes, and that a pot of chilli would be fabulous one week and not so fabulous the next, and being interested in why that was, why things were different.
What does it involve you actually doing? Now, you are taste testing.
We are. It's not all foodstuffs, but it is mostly foodstuffs. And what we're asked to do is take the item and then focus down on particular aspects of the taste or the smell or the appearance sometimes. We then explain what we're finding to the other members of the panel, share our findings and agree on what we're finding.
So it's about picking out the different aspects of a taste.
It is. It's about discriminating. You might be smelling 10 things, but you're asked to discriminate one and then score it in a particular way.
Okay. If you go to a sort of a posh restaurant, if you Heston Blumenthal's cooking for you, one of the joys of that is that you can taste every individual thing that's in the mix, whereas normally when I cook it, you can't. It's all kind of, mashed up together. So that it's sort of like that same process of being able to say, well, in there's a bit of this, but there's also a bit of that. Oh, and there's a bit of that in there too.
Exactly, and that's one of the skills that you actually learn. You might think you're a bit of a foodie, you might think you know about food and you're interested in it, but when you start doing this, you really are learning to focus right down and then put into words what it is you're finding.
I'm intrigued. Well, maybe it'll make me rich when they work out later on that I'll be good at this as well. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe.
Thank you very much indeed, Helen. Nice to see you. Thank you.
In Paris today.
Ready to do some tasting?
I am.
Excellent. So the reason we're talking about tasting is that the Sensory Science Centre at Reading University wants people with a talent for tasting. Which you and I have sort of, potentially got.
Potentially.
Word like eating.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the start. So if you... we had a very classy tea time, by the way, last night at Beaconsfield Services.
Oh, did you? What did you have?
McDonald's.
Okay.
If you pass the recruitment test, you get trained and then you get paid to give feedback on what food and drink tastes like.
I like the idea of this.
Yeah.
You basically get paid for eating.
Basically, yeah. Christine Barnagaud from the Sensory Science Centre is here in the studio. Hi, Christine.
Hello.
So what skills do we need then? We both like eating and drinking. Is that enough? Will that do?
Well, it's a very good start.
Okay.
Because obviously it means that you're interested in food, and so you won't have any problem of wanting to try the things I put in front of you.
You'll have no problem with that. No. we're both up for that.
That's fine. But obviously, what we need also you to be able to is actually be in tune with your sensory perception. So actually, how good are your taste buds, and how can you articulate what you're actually perceiving? So not only do you have to be a good taster, but you also have to be able to explain to me.
Well, we can do talking.
We can do
so far eating and talking.
Yeah.
We're in.
Now, you see, I feel like I need to metamorphosise into Jilly Goulden for this. So do I need to do the whole I can taste raspberries and that kind of thing? Is that what I need to do?
Well, obviously, what we have a training period, so we obviously screen people, and then after that we take them through a full 4 month of actually really sort of training to get them to where we want them to be.
Okay.
So, of course, just trying lots of different food and just seeing how your tongue feels like, and trying to identify different experiences are obviously very good. But we'll actually do the training for
We
them.
train to be even better at eating and
Amazing.
talking. I hate to sort of like bring the reality of life into play here, but we're just going to put this on pause for a second because Rory McAllister's got some news of missing drain covers. A drain cover's been nicked by someone who wanted to sell them to a scrap merchant who clearly will ask no questions at all, saying, where did you get this from? Go on, Roy, tell us where.
Yeah, by the looks of things, it's on Gresley Road. That's in Basingstoke. It's just off the Ring Road section there, thanks to Melvin for the most recent update. So the highways have been informed. They'll be on there sorting it out, but it's just a case of, obviously, if you pull over, then the holes are large enough to take your front wheel of your car. So just something to bear in mind on Gresley Road in Basingstoke, missing drain covers there. Travel you trust from BBC Radio Berkshire.
I never get that. You turn up with a drain cover and you say, well, I just found it in the garage. I just decided we didn't need it anymore.
Yeah, no use for it anymore.
What's it worth? So the thing about the taste testing thing, eating and talking, is that not many people can actually do it, or not to the extent that is helpful to you guys.
We obviously recruit people that are normal people, so when we do the screening, yes, we just need to find the right person.
But most people's sense of taste isn't good enough, isn't acute enough.
Well, that's the thing, is that they might actually get the signals sent to the brain and the taste bud actually just working correctly, but obviously they might not be able to recognise them because they haven't been taught to. So we actually need people that can already do that so that we can then take them further on. But yes, they need to be able to recognise already what's happening in their mouth or when they smell.
Okay, so let's have a go then.
Yes.
You've got some stuff for us to taste, and we have to do what? Describe what we can taste.
So what we have here are 4 clear liquids, so there's absolutely nothing to differentiate them just based on even smell or appearance. They represent the 4 basic tastes. Do you know what are the 4 basic tastes?
Is this about sweet and sour?
Yeah, sweet, sour, salty and bitter.
Right.
For one. So we've put substances as solutions in there to represent those 4. And so what you need to do is try each of them, rinse your palate in between with plain water, and just tell me which one do you think it is. But you
Right.
can't try them again. So
One taste.
It's one taste.
Do we
yes.
have to share cups?
No, I can try to.
What are you like?
Just a question.
It's a scientific experiment.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
Not
go on.
like an opportunity for personal insults. So we'll just do a couple of these, and then we'll carry on doing the test, I think, while we hear Maggie Philbin going around the round tower at Windsor
Yeah.
Castle.
So that's fine.
Okay, so shall I try one of these then?
Go on then.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to try cup A, and so it's going to be one of those 4 sensations, basically. Oh no, this is going to go wrong.
It can't be that hard.
I'm going to say sweet.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay, so and I need to rinse it out with
Yes,
some more water.
Absolutely.
Okay, so cup A sweet, cup B. I taste the same. This is going badly wrong.
We'll keep doing this. This is clearly going to take longer than we planned. While we hear Maggie Philbin at Windsor Castle. Climbing the Round Tower, which was built in 1170 with Henry II, who wanted the Norman keep with the tower, put his flag on top of in Windsor. And now it's, after 40 years, open for you to go and climb up, have a look around, enjoy the view of the area, also the London skyline from. Maggie Philbin has been round with some tourists.
So the tour group is just making its way up the next set of stairs. We know there's a rather fearsome-looking 17th century cannon at the very top. Now, we know that tourists have not been able to come here for the best part of 40 years because of the restoration work that was necessary. Is it possible to sort of see any of that in this part of the tower?
No, this is really as it was in the 15th century. Apart from some additional work that was done in the 19th century when the upper part of the tower was built. The restoration work for which the tower was closed was actually to do with underpinning the round tower in particular. It started to subside, and so they put a reinforced concrete ring actually beneath the tower back in the 1990s.
Can I just say that I'm really beginning to feel this on the back of my legs?
Well, we have to do it 5 times a day, and it's no problem for us now.
And so now we just get to step outside, just going through a very narrow wooden door. There are more cannons here, poking through the parapet. Oh, wow, that view is amazing, isn't it, Jan?
That's an amazing view, but not nearly as good as the one you'll get from the top.
Really? God, we're only halfway up.
Not even halfway up.
Goodness.
More from Maggie Philbin, climbing the round tower coming up. Now, while Maggie was doing that, we've done our taste test. And I think we've come up with a totally different set of answers.
I think
so there are
have.
4 different tastes from stuff that just looks like water in 4 cups. I'm saying A, salty, B, sweet, C, bitter, and D, sour.
Okay.
I think you've got a totally different set of answers.
Yeah,
haven't you?
I'm saying A, sweet, B, sour, C, bitter, D, salty.
So there's a possibility here that either one of us is good at this or we're both rubbish. But there's no possibility we're both any good at it. Go on then, Christine, put us out of our misery. Which one of us has got the decent taste buds that might help you?
So actually, you got C and D as bitter and sour.
Yeah.
Yes. So actually, you found different things, but both of you have got 2 rights.
Ah.
We need to work as a team. We need to do it as a job share. It's a job share,
If I
everyone.
combine both of your answers and take the ones that are right, you actually get 3 out of 4.
Okay.
So it's not a complete.
Not a complete disaster.
As a team, 3
Yeah.
out of 4.
That's not bad.
I settle for that, I think,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. Christine, people can actually do this, can't they? And, you know,
Yes.
come along and maybe better help you with... what's the findings of it, just finally, are what? What does it lead to when you find people who've got super-duper taste buds?
What we use it for is really to get a detailed understanding of exactly what the products are in terms of sensory characteristics. So we can then measure all the different products and understand how bitter and how sweet and sour, but also like how artificial orange it is, or sort of like if it's good marmalade and those kind of notes. And then we also ask consumers what they like and what they don't like. And then when we put the 2 together, it allows us to actually say in detail to our clients and the manufacturers exactly why a product has performed well or has performed badly, so that either you can do the same or that you actually can improve it and make it even better for people's taste.
Thank you for coming in. We always knew that we were better together. BBC